My girl, Steffi. Ross, you got to understand the anointing. I like your look, girl. That was real good, man. Definitely, though. It's got a lot of nominations. I'm so excited about that. Setting us that why not? You can add groove to the gospel. That's gospel groove. We're going somewhere, yeah? All righty. How about we get back? I promised you I was going to make you fishers of men, right? Now it's time for us to get into your finances. We're trying to teach you how to make it in the marketplace because everywhere has a language. Now, if you cannot speak the language of the marketplace, that's you going down the drain, okay? So we have Mr. Semanu. You know that when we start to talk about money or finances, the financial evangelist is in the house. Mr. Semanu, good, good morning to your nice self. Always in white. Sometimes I feel like are you taking a cue from the former finance minister? So that the OSB doesn't come and look for you.
I will consider that.
Oh my God. Anyway, so we started to talk about the things that we do wrongly in the marketplace. One thing that really stuck with me is the fact that we don't plan or plan right. Yeah. So some people start off a business, they don't have a business plan. And so the idea is that if you don't have a business plan, how about you start off planning weekly and then monthly, and you start to do all of that. And I think that has really resonated with me because I'm guilty as charged. Sometimes you want to start up, it's like, let me just sell the wig and all of that. So you sell it to your friends and family, make money. You think, oh, okay, we're in business. But then when it gets to reality, where we need to now go in for loans and stuff like that, we're like, oh, okay, there's no plan, so we don't really know how to go about it. And I really enjoyed that session. But today I want us to look at, some of the kingdom, why some kingdom entrepreneurs fail in business. Again, but I want us to touch first on leadership. I believe leadership is a mindset. To be able to lead. Imagine a lion leading a flock of sheep. Great, right?
Yeah.
But imagine a sheep leading
lions.
I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know where they'll go or what they will achieve. Okay. So a matter of mindsets, a matter of where we want to go. Is it that we as Christians are too spiritual to think leaders? Or we just have the tendency to overlook these things, even in the marketplace? What exactly is the problem when it comes to leadership? Okay,
so the subject of leadership is a subject of mindset.
Right.
As you've rightly said. Of course, you watch Animal Geography, you see a lion attacking a hippopotamus, a lion attacking an elephant. And you ask yourself, why would you even attempt this? In terms of size, you don't get there.
Exactly.
There is a mindset of the lion. So you were a Christian, you just got born again a few years ago. You're not too educated, but you started this catering business.
Right.
Your Christian faith should tell you that from this small place I've started in my house, in the next 5 years, I can have 5 or 3 branches scattered across the capital. Okay. It's a mindset.
Okay.
Yes, and sometimes, as believers, we fail to translate what we hear in church into practical life.
Oh, preach.
Yes. So it's not a matter of that our pastors are not good or they are preaching the wrong sermons. But sometimes there's a lot of difficulty in translating the message into reality.
Okay.
Other than that, everybody's life will be changed in the church anyway. So that's a problem of leadership. And leadership is majorly hindered by the thinking patterns of the person running the business. So for instance, like you said, you started selling wigs or maybe started selling some clothing, and you are assuming that somehow that apart from family members and friends, I can't have other people to buy from me because of the kind of things I sell. So by that alone, you are limiting the potential of the business in terms of where you want the business to be.
Right.
Don't forget, your vision as a leader also affects your team. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1 to 3. It says, write it down, make it plain, so that those who are running will be able to see clearly and run well. So if as a leader, you don't have a clear vision of where you want the business to be in 5 years' time, in 3 years' time, your team will not have a clear roadmap in terms of work and how to go about the work.
Wow. Take us through, I'm thinking that maybe this lady watching us, or gentleman watching us, is not yet at a point where they have a team.
Yes.
So it's a solo business, and maybe they're selling phone covers, or they have all these bank agents or something like that. How do they table all these visions of what should be going into the things that they can table down as part of their leadership plan, even before the team comes in?
Good question, Biadela. But to simplify it, leadership begins with self.
Great.
If I can't lead myself, I cannot lead any other person. I can't lead my business. So a young lady or a young man, you've just started a business, maybe you're doing a retail of clothing or probably selling phones or phone accessories or whatever it may be. You start by leading yourself. What time do you open your shop?
As and when I feel like it.
So that is where leadership begins.
Yeah.
When you make daily sales, how are you able to manage the money? That is where leadership, because all these things, if you don't do them right, when you get others to join you, the mess will just increase. It will not change anything. So you start by leading yourself. When do I wake up? When I wake up, what do I do? What time do I get to the shop or my office? When I get to the office, what are my plans for the day in terms of the business? Financials for the business, in terms of what I'm going to do to get sales today.
So you have a to-do list.
Yeah,
journaling.
that's how leadership starts, to-do list, yes.
Okay.
Yes. You are organizing yourself so you can be more productive. So leadership begins with leading yourself, being in charge of your life. Yes.
I see. So it means that we're getting into business, but we're starting with you. We're changing your mindset. We're trying to make the business look appealing to yourself. So if I cannot buy for my own business, then it means that it's not appealing to the next person, right?
No.
Okay. So we're looking at time that we're waking up, how we want the business to look great. We're doing a to-do list.
Yes.
We're doing
I mean, in terms of business,
evaluation
yes,
of what we bring in,
yes,
what goes up, profit margin.
Yes.
What else are we adding to record keeping?
Record keeping, yeah.
What else are we adding to this to make us better?
Marketing. What are you going to do in the day to bring in new business?
Okay.
Yes.
Customer service.
Customer service. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see. But what are some of the things that an individual should go through when they probably have gone through all of these things, but they feel like they're failing at their business? We spoke about mentoring and all of that. Yes, I know that's on the side. Yeah. But how do you fix your problem? You're just one person solving this. How do you fix all these things so that by the time the team comes in, you know how these things are fixed? How do you do that? How do you discipline yourself enough to fix problems? Are you going to be hard on yourself like, we will not spend this amount of money again? Yeah. But how do you keep those things up? How do you keep yourself in check?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, the best form of motivation comes from within.
Right.
You agree with me? There are days you just even to wake up from bed and start the day, you just feel like that day will be declared as a national sleeping day.
Oh, Lord.
So you just relax and be on the bed.
Are you a prophet? Yeah.
We all feel the same way. But that is where discipline and self-pushing comes in.
Right.
There is no other way around. There is no drug you will take or medications I can prescribe. That is the only way out. Be motivated so much that if your business has a problem, you can decide to say, I'm not sleeping. I'm going to spend the night meditating and thinking through this particular aspect of the business until I get an answer. So if I get an answer at 3 a.m., I'm going to bed at 3 a.m. If I get the answer at 2 a.m., that is the time I am going to bed. So you sit, you think, you analyze, you criticize until you get the solution.
You sit.
Yes.
You think.
Yes.
You analyze.
Yes.
You criticize.
Until you get a solution.
Until you get a solution.
Yes. And I have done this. It works.
Right.
You see, the problem is that sometimes we don't want to stretch ourselves. You've been selling to people. One customer has been giving you problem all the time. So by emotions, you assume that, okay, let me cut the customer off. But that customer may be teaching you a particular lesson. All you need to do is to sit down and look at the issues objectively. And you will get an answer to it.
I see.
Yeah. So it comes back to putting in all measures to lead yourself, all aspects, your emotional, your technical skills, your sales skills, and make sure that you are properly positioned to succeed as a business person.
And that's how you can actually lead other people.
Exactly. It becomes easier. Yes.
But if you're able to do this yourself, I appreciate that in business, people might overlook temperaments and all of that, but it's a part of our lives.
Yes.
So probably you are the one who is self-motivated. You're very meticulous. You know what you want, know how to go about it. When you were doing the business, it was speeding up. It was good. Then it expanded and you bring people in. How do you manage the expectation and the temperament of your workers so that they're able to fit into your goal? Because some people come in, they don't shout at me, but the person is your cash cow.
Yes.
Because the person can do well in the business, but there are other aspects that is dragging you back. I mean, in terms of leadership, how do you manage that?
Okay, so the first thing is, we are all different. God intentionally did that for variety purposes. You cannot expect that everyone who comes to join your team should be exactly like you.
Thank you.
Even in marriage, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this guy is very, very good technically in the company. But the least provocation, that whole day the office must be shut down. And when he gets angry, it's like thunder and fire.
Hey, Jesus.
You must find a way around managing these people. When you look at your own life sometimes, you realize that there are some aspects of your life, if you were creating yourself, you would have deleted those parts. We are all not perfect.
Yeah.
So you accommodate other people with their weaknesses. Remember, you need their strength. So you can't throw the entire human being away. So you collaborate. You also try to compromise.
Okay.
The person says that I cannot do with shouting. There is no way of insisting that the correction must always come in the form of shouting. So compromising will help you to be able to work with any kind of people because you understand their strengths, which you need, and then you should be able to manage their weaknesses as well.
What then is the boundary to that? At what point can the business and myself not take that anymore? We have to let
the boundary issue comes in when the behavior is not affecting the productivity of the work.
Right.
If it has nothing to do with the work, it should be managed. If it's affecting the business, it's affecting the way customers come in, the customers are complaining because of this particular person, I will not do business with you again, then that's a red flag.
Okay.
You've got to address it immediately.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. Where is God in all of this? Where is the God factor in the marketplace? We hear that, I mean, the marketplace is a rough place, right? And we're trying to lead ourselves first and lead other people. Where does God come in?
So first of all, I have stated on this platform that God himself is a businessman. God is an entrepreneur. God is profit-oriented. So the concept of enterprise and industrialization comes from him.
Right.
It means that every aspect of the business, God should be involved.
Okay.
From ideation, conceptualization, to product development, God should be involved. From taking the product or the service to the marketplace, God should be involved.
Okay.
From addressing and dealing with all kinds of customers, God should be involved. From managing the finances of the business, God should be involved. So you just have to engage God along the value chain of the business, every aspect of it. There is no aspect that you can say, let me ask for this part, let me take God out. No. Yes, everything comes from him. The idea of a camera came from God. Yes, the moon has been reflecting light for years. As to which machine is giving supply to the moon, we all don't know. But we know that the moon gives us light. The sun has been like that for years. The Chinese are trying to create artificial sun. Yes, you know. So God is virtually everything around us, technology, anything. You just have to tap into that aspect of him. Other than that, you get used to just the miracles and the other bits.
Right.
Yes.
So even in the marketplace as a Christian,
Yes.
you don't forget
No.
your God. I've seen a lot of Christians who started off in the church, the part of prayer was sha. And then we get into the marketplace, we're making money, and the proceeds or the honor doesn't go back to God. How does that affect us?
Okay, so it has to do with the genuineness of heart. Yeah, your heart, the state of your heart will always expose you. If your love for God is genuine, wherever you are, you maintain the love. If the love is not genuine, circumstances can easily shake the foundation of your love. So the love must be deep. Even between a husband and wife, we know what the love is deep. No matter which part of the world the person is, you are in constant communication.
Yeah.
You are together. So if your love for God is genuine, I don't think landing on a big contract that will change the house you live in, change the cars you drive, should change your love for God. If small money comes into your pocket and you stop going to church, stop going to all night and things, it's just, just giving credence to the fact that the love is not deep.
You never really love
No,
him.
no, no, no.
That's why you will not support his work with the
Of
financial
course,
resources.
of course, because you see, where your heart is, that is where your money goes. So if you don't really love God, you'll be in the church, you make a lot of money, but you look at your tithe and you ask yourself, why should all this go to God? They are building a church, they say, bring money. You say, no, all this cannot go to God. I need to sort out myself first. The love is not deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's get to one very critical thing that people don't do. Record keeping.
Yes.
Record keeping. I have met people, I've been guilty of that a few times. I've met people who feel like, okay, we're just starting the business, so it's just small money that's coming in. What's the point in writing it? It's just 3 CDs, or it's 2 CD. That's my how does that affect business in the long run?
Okay, so Proverbs 27:23 says, be diligent to know the state of thy flocks.
Right.
Then the subsequent verses say that riches are not forever. But the first part is be diligent to know the state of your flocks. So this is a kind of an agricultural term. You must be able to know the state of the business at every point in time. If I ask you last month, February, what was your total sales? It shouldn't be a struggle. When I ask you February, the month of February, which is the past month, how much was your profit? You should be able to give that information easily. Other than that, then you are just joking. Because you can't be running a business and you don't know the records. You don't have the figures on your fingertips. So somebody may say, like you said, oh, I've just started a small thing. What does the Bible say? If you're not faithful in that which is least, who will commit to your care bigger things? So the recording of the 3 CD, the 5 CD and thing means that when you get 10 CD, you can record. When you get 20 CDs, you can record.
Take us to a practical way of recording purposes. Yes. This is a small business.
Yes.
Or maybe an intermediary kind of business. How do we do record keeping and do it right? Okay. What are some of the things we should be looking at?
Okay, so you are selling Sobolo.
Okay.
Packed, Sobolo in a bottle.
Yeah.
So how much does it cost you to produce 20 of them, get these drinks, and put them into the bottle? What is the cost of the bottles you have, the 20 bottles, you record it down.
Okay.
The drink, putting it together, buying the product, and then doing all the things you have to do, how much does that also cost you? That is going to determine how much you will price per bottle of the Sobolo. Right. Because you are bringing into total the cost of producing the bottle of the drink. Next, the beer de la cause, she's a Canadian, she needs 5 bottles delivered to her. What is the cost of transportation in sending it to her? Who is going to bear the cost of this?
Okay.
It has to be recorded. You may say, okay, the client will pay for it. Yes, it has to be recorded. But don't forget, the client paying for it can also determine whether the client will want to order next time. Because probably the cost of the delivery may scare off the client.
Exactly.
Though the price of the bottle of Sobolo is cheap.
Right.
So that is why you got to put all these records down. Now, at the end of the day, if the client is paying for it, it means you are getting more profit. Because your cost of production is known and you can determine how much to sell it. So at the end of the week, you can tell how many bottles you were able to sell and how much came in. You can also determine how much you paid for deliveries. Because some customers will say, 60 cedi delivery is too much. Can I pay 30? So you also pay 30. So along the way, out of 20 bottles, there were 5 of them that you have to share the cost with the client. You record that. So at the end of the week, you can tell how many were sold, the cost of transportation from your side. Because the ones the client pay may not really bother to you directly, but you got to record it anyway. So you can know your profit and how much you said. Now, you have to analyze this figure well and then use it to plan for the following week.
How?
How do I cut down on transportation?
Okay.
How do I increase my profit margin? Are there places where I can get the bottles at a cheaper price? What I used to do the Sobolo itself. Are there places I can go probably to the direct source? So the price can also come down a little.
Is that not the reason some people compromise on quality of the products? So people start off business maybe it tastes really nice. Everything is intact. And then you start to taste now, or probably the food vendors start to taste later. You're like, the quality of, the food is reduced. Is it not because of these things? Is that not a downturn?
Practically, that could be a factor. But you, as a business person, which direction do you want to go? Are you passionate about giving something to people that is of a lower quality because you want to make a lot of money? So you make money for 2 years, after that nobody wants to come to you? Or you want to remain in the business for 10 years? If you want to remain in the business for 10 years plus, then you can't compromise on quality because you want profit. Don't forget there are businesses that you have to run for at least about 2 years or even 3 years before you start making the full profit.
Please tell us. Tell us real quick. Because, we have people who are like, they start business in 6 months.
Yes.
I'm not making profit of this, so I don't think it is profitable. Can you run us through some businesses where you would need like the gift of long suffering before you start to make profit? Yeah? Take us through some of these businesses.
So let me just make this statement again.
Yeah.
So we all know Amazon.
Right.
Yes, Amazon, when the founder was in Seattle many years ago, he got the idea, blah, blah. It took him about 10 years to declare full year profit. I cannot go into the nitty-gritties, but I know there are some basic businesses that at least you need some amount of time to be able to say that. If you go and buy a dress and you want to sell, you can get an instant profit. The Sobolo case, you can get instant profit. But if you look at something like, probably even like running a school, it will take time. Yes, really, that's the one I can think about. But there are businesses that it will always take time to make profit. And let me also say that the gift of long suffering you spoke about is very essential in business. Because sometimes God can lead you to start a business, and you're expecting that in 6 months' time, the profit should be coming in. And if it doesn't come, you can easily give up. There are different businesses that the rate of even breaking even, they are not the same. They can be longer. Yes, and the time of even making a stable profit can also keep very, very long. Yeah, so it may not be that you are in the wrong business. You just have to be patient. Remember in one of our discussions, I mentioned that don't rush into a business because others are doing it. Do your investigations. Ask all the relevant questions. Because somebody may be making huge profit today. It has taken him 5 years, 10 years to get to that level. When you even ask the questions, the idea of which business it takes longer to get profit or to start getting the profit, you will get all the answers. Though I've just given you one example.
I see. Wow. That's a big one. So we need to know the business we're getting into and what we normally see on the market, how long it takes people to make profit. So that by the time you're getting into it, you know that for this business, it's going to take me about 2 years or a year to make profit, But in some cases, I know that maybe you do a lot of mentorship for a lot of people. In the case where in that course of the business, you feel like you're unable to maybe sustain it or supply, what other things can be done to sustain a business, which is a cash cow, until it begins to produce? What can you do as a business person?
So that is why your investigations from the start must be done well. If you do a proper investigation before getting into the business, you already know that this is a long-term thing. It will take me 5 years. It will take me 3 years. Yes, I'm mentioning these numbers because there are people who may want to go and buy a hotel to rebrand and do a new business. That's a typical one that will take you some time to be able to do it. You want to go and buy somebody's old school, rebrand the school, and restart again. It will take you time. So if you do your original work well, it gives you an idea how many years it will take you, then how much money would I need to invest? So if you're investing the money, you're not worried because you know 3 years' time, you start getting the reward of what you want. If you don't do the calculations well, that is where the case of starting and then hanging in between comes in. Because somebody told you that this work, if you put money into it, you will get a lot of profit. You say, yes. You also had a lot of money. So no proper investigation, questioning, you just pump the money there. Then halfway through, you realize that no, the money is gone. And the business has not gotten anywhere. So you are hanging. That scenario should be avoided.
Okay.
Because when you get to that level, there are two things that will happen. You either have to abandon the whole business, you lose your money, or you have to go and look for a loan to be able to push into the business. Remember, the loan they're going to give you conditions of repayment, and sometimes it can be so cumbersome and very depressing. So I will advise, take your time, do your investigations well before you release the money into that particular enterprise. I mentioned earlier on that people who have money, they are difficult to advise. Because sometimes the person feels, I have the money. Who are you to talk to me? When I was making my money, where were you?
That's quite true.
Yeah.
Right. So, because, I mean, when you were lying down in poverty, nobody asked what's the source of your poverty.
Yes.
And now that you are rich, they say, what's the source of your riches?
Exactly.
So nobody can advise you.
Yeah.
I see people who get into smaller businesses to feed the
bigger one.
The bigger business. Can you run us through the modalities of that? Is that a good thing to do, to do a smaller business that will feed a bigger business? And what are some of the risks involved in doing
Yes, it does. It does. So let's say, for instance, you work in the bank for 10 years. You want to go into consulting.
Okay.
That's your passion. That's what you want to do for life. Consulting, helping SMEs to put their financial records together, training corporations on basic financial management stuff and all that. Probably you're an accountant and all that. You've left the bank. Now you know your monthly salary. The money may not be coming as you want. And that kind of business will also take time, even though you may depend on referrals to kickstart.
Okay.
But if you can start cooking and doing soups for families who are very busy over the weekend, you do the okra stew for them, you take your money. That's a very smart business. That can be sustaining you and giving you some money that you can now start pushing into your consulting business, which you are looking at least kickstarting in the next 3 years, or at least stabilizing it in 3 years' time. Maybe you may want to sell some products. That's also another smarter one. So sometimes what you are really passionate about that you want to do, that is your big business, may not bring you the money immediately. But there are side gigs that you can do, get you some income so that you can build capacity to go into full-time, the bigger business that you have for yourself.
So it's a good thing we can do
It's a good thing. Everybody should be able to do that.
There's no risk attached to it?
There are risks attached to it, just like every other thing in life. You have to calculate your risk. There is also always an issue of calculating the risk.
Yes.
Because there is no risk-free thing anywhere. Yes.
I see. Well, so now we know. We're getting into business. It's your passion. It's what you want to do. It's what you want the world to know you for. But for that kind of business that you're choosing, it's going to take some time to make profit, and it's acceptable. So now we're learning that you can have small businesses on the side, of which the proceeds from that one can feed into. So you don't have to be, okay, I just want to do this and that's what I'm doing, and you're suffering. No. If you can do other businesses and use those ones as stepping stones for your bigger picture, that would help. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let me take your last words before.
Yeah, so my last words is on Proverbs 27:23. You've got to know the state of your flocks. You must know the state of the business in which you are. If God appears to you tonight and say, Nelson, how much money do you need to invest in
$40 billion, Lord.
So
please.
you see, the number you are going to mention will depend on if you know your financial.
Right.
So you have to know the state of your business. Don't be running a business and you are ignorant about the facts and the detail. It's not even the nature of God. God loves facts. God loves numbers. God loves the details. So get to know your business. Make time for your business. Remember, that's what will sustain you. Your house, your car, they are all hidden in your business.
Right.
That you're running. Your fame, everything. So get to know the state, and that will help you to build a better business.
Okay. So it's not only for shepherds now. It's also for business people. Be diligent to know the state of your business. Thank you so much, Mr. Semanu. As for you, get Mr. Semanu's books, okay? It's on finance. There's a lot of things that you can learn. You have some on Amazon, right?
Yes, I have Why Some Christian Entrepreneurs Fail in Business. It's on Amazon.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you should also get that copy. Read it. Let me your business Bible. And then we'll see. You see, now we become a kingdom financier. You won't respect us again. Anyway, thank you to the Bank Hospital for supporting the morning show. And thank you so much to Kelly Keys for sorting my clothing out. I really love this dress. Thank you, Kelly Keys. You can find her on Pinterest or Instagram. It's Kelly Keys Collect, okay? All right, so there's a conversation that's coming up. a marriage between agriculture and technology, which is the way to go. We want to know how to do business now in agriculture, and it's an African conversation. It's good for startups, it's good for people who are getting into agri, and it's a conversation that you must be a part of. So you want to join us on our socials whilst Korkor prepares to have this discussion with these gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.